Hi. So today I'm going to talk to you about a few ways that I like to study. So I have this huge world geography test coming up, and I'm in honors, so it's a lot more difficult than regs, but my teacher's really nice and stuff. But okay, so studying, I suggest not studying in like super uncomfortable clothes because then you're going to be like, I don't want to do this. But so, like, right now I'm wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt, so like that's totally fine to study and like whatever. And another good thing to do is to study with a group. Like a study group is the best thing ever because it's so good to have like all those different minds, like all their ideas like coming together. But sometimes they're bad because they make you like doubt yourself because you're like, no, this is the way that you do it, and then they're like, no, this is the right way to do it, and it's I don't know, it's just not okay. So a few things that I use when I'm studying is my textbook, my notebook, my folder in case I need to reference for vocabulary or cute ways to remember things, paper, my packet, and a pencil. You can use a pen, but in case you mess up, like I, it just looks neater if you can erase it, and I don't know. I don't really like using pen when I'm studying because it just what if I mess up and then I got scribble it and then I'm like this is too messy. I don't want to look at this. I'm not studying. So a few good things that I'd recommend for when you're studying is Quizlet and flashcards. Quizlet you can download it on iPad, iPod, iPhone, something, and Android, and it's on the App Store. I have it on my phone and on my Kindle, and I have a Samsung Galaxy 4S, so you can just get it anywhere. Okay, so what I start with is my chapters because they're really good. And so for this unit, we're doing Southwest Asia. So it's chapters 24, 25, and 26. So for the and it's an assignment to do the notes on it. So for my notes, I take my notebook and I write the chapter, what chapter it is, and then I write the vocabulary terms that are bolded in the chapter and the definition that goes along with them. But I like to write down the glossary definition and not the definition that's in the chapter. So, because sometimes it's not like full out and you don't get the whole like effect of it. And then I read the chapter. I know it seems like a waste of time, but like actually go through it and read it and then write down the key points because you never know what's going to be on the test or what might be on a reading check. So, then I take my paper and I have it on my clipboard here because I don't like to write on my textbook because in case I need to reference my textbook, I don't want my paper flying everywhere and I just go like bleh. So I take my paper and I write notes on it and then I write when the test is and then over here I write the subject because I don't want to get it mixed up with like biology or something because then I'll put it in the wrong folder and then I'll try to study and then I just won't know where anything is, and it's just not good. So I'll write down the vocabulary terms from the chapter, but I'll also write them down from my Megascore, which has all of my main vocabulary terms on it, and some essential questions over here that I like to some. I don't answer them on my like notes, but I like to answer them in my head just so that I know like what I'm trying to look for. Okay, so then another thing for vocabulary, like I said, Quizlet, like that's really good for spelling and like knowing the definition. And there's also some games on there. But I also like to do these like mind games and these like games, like crossword puzzles, because then you like can know the definition and you know like the correct spelling of it, and it's just really good. Okay, and then for my geography class, I have to know the countries and capitals. And colors are the best. They're life. So if you would like to use colors on anything ever, it's totally recommended by me. Colors like separate your thoughts and it's just amazing. So on this map, my teacher gave me this and I like to write down like everything. We have to know countries, capitals, water features, and land features. So a few days before the test, I like to print out another map that's like this one, and I don't color code it, don't anything, and I like write down everything that I know. And anything that I don't know, I know that I need to study more. So that's always good. And another thing that I'm going to stress more than anything for the test, and this is really important, it may seem like a huge waste of time, but really, I like to take my notebook and I write notes on everything. I know, especially for those lazy kids, but like sometimes it's really good. Okay? Sometimes like if you're really lazy or something and you feel like this doesn't matter to anything, then that's totally a personal choice. And you could just get notes from friends and stuff, especially if you're in like a study group. But if you're looking for a quick, easy way to study, like this notes thing is the best. Like you could just open up a chapter and just look at the vocabulary words, and then you'll just know everything because most of the test is vocabulary terms and short answer and multiple choice. So got like an 80% chance on the multiple choice. You got like if you just know the vocabulary terms. I don't know. The math is always the hardest part for me. So in class, I like to take notes on everything. I mean, not when they're like, "Oh, how was your weekend?" Because why would you take notes on that? Like, really, like that's not what I mean. I mean, like the other day in class, we were watching this PowerPoint, and it was just like a Prezi PowerPoint on YouTube, and it was about how girls affect Southwest Asia, and you can learn about it on girleffect.com or .org, one of those. And you just like, yeah, so it was just like a music PowerPoint, and I was like, this has nothing to do with it. But I took notes on it anyway, because if I get to a short answer, and it's like, how do girls affect the world? And I'm like, oh my gosh, we learned this, and I didn't study, and I don't know, I'm gonna fail. But now I know that girls are super important for one reason, because they give 90% of their income to their family when guys only give 15 to 25%. Like, now I know that, and it could be super useful on the test. So, basically, those are my recommendations: flashcards, Quizlet, all that stuff. Just, and try to study a few days before the test so that you're not super crammed. And never ever, like, this is a super big recommendation, but never ever study the day of the test. I mean, in the morning, I like to look over my notes, just like skim them so I know, and but then I don't look at them for the rest of the day, except for capitals. I study those all day because those are really hard, and I just want to know. And I always create like fun mind games and stuff, so that's recommended too. Okay, see you next time.